As for Daniel Andrews, we made some fun of him last night when he decided to send a message that there's a plan. Now, the absurdity of all of this, and again, something no one wants to talk about, is that there has been 56 days since stage 3 was introduced in Victoria. Forget this stuff about lockdowns and curfews which have been in place for a few weeks. This has been in place since the 7th of July. The 7th of July is when people were told they were not allowed to leave their house. It was only a couple of weeks later when they were told that a curfew would be put in place to police that they aren't leaving their homes. So you know it if you're living in Melbourne right now, but for the rest of the country, you need to understand. Now, people are starting to have enough, despite the fact that there are the human shields on Twitter and the lovies in the media who get to, of course, keep doing their job because they just get to do it in their jimmy jams from home on Radio National, while other people aren't allowed to earn a damn cent. And God forbid those awful people who want to mow the lawn of the little old lady next door. That, of course, is a crime in Victoria right now. Well, Daniel Andrews says that he's got a plan, or at least yesterday he said he had a plan for a plan, 22 times.
I don't think it's unreasonable to put forward a plan that's accurate. We've got to have a plan. It needs to be a clear plan, but a plan that's real. I can guarantee that I'll provide the most detailed plan. So the most detailed plan, as soon as I can possibly provide it, and be handing down plans. It's a detailed plan, a plan of certainty. There'll be a clear plan underpinning that plan. To have a plan that runs for a detailed plan.
Well, today we got the plan that he'll release the plan on Sunday. And the plan doesn't come into effect from Sunday. That, of course, is a plan to announce a plan for when the plan kicks in, but he won't tell us how the plan kicks in.
Next Sunday, the 6th of September, we will announce the roadmap to ease the restrictions that we've all been living under. It is too early today to settle that roadmap.
Okay. But I repeat, there's one little thing that no one in the Australian media is willing to say, but it's worth saying. How has this bloke failed? Not just failed when it came to hotel quarantine, which meant the cases got out in the first place, but how has he been able to fail to stop the spread of the virus? People in warehouses aren't allowed to go to work. You're not allowed to mow the next door neighbour's lawn. Since July the 7th, you haven't been able to leave your house, unless, of course, it's to go and buy groceries or exercise. He's failed to stop the virus. Yet this bloke is still being cheered on by the idiots on Twitter or those who want to go and buy a jacket like Dan from North Face, dickheads. So let's actually have a look at the death toll numbers for the past week. These are the numbers right now, okay? Tuesday of last week, 148 people were announced, as the new cases, not deaths, I apologise. New cases that were released. 148 new cases. Then it was 149, then it was 113, then it was another 113. How you get the same number every day? Okay. It continues. 94 on Saturday, 114 yesterday, 73 today. What does that mean? That means, by the way, that the total number of cases announced in the last week alone in the state of Victoria are more cases than the entire pandemic has been recorded in places like Tanzania. I'm not joking. The entire pandemic in Tanzania has had 509 cases. The past week in Victoria, after you've been locked in your house since July, is 804. As for the deaths, every one of these tragic. On Tuesday, it was 8. Wednesday, 24. 23 on Thursday. You can see the number kept rising and kept going until 137 people have died in the past week in Victoria. In Slovenia, since the entire pandemic started, 133 people have died. 127 in Malaysia. In Syria, 109,000. But 137 people died in the past week since you've been locked in your house since July. So this bloke gets credit when his failure gets the virus around for a second time. He wants credit for a plan to get you out of it, despite the fact you've been in your house and locked and the spread should have stopped well and truly by now. Yet it continues. And more people have died in 1 week in Victoria than entire countries during the pandemic. Yet still idiots on Twitter will say, I stand with Dan. That's fine. That's called Stockholm Syndrome, where you fall in love with your captor, and when they release you, you'll still love them because they let you out.